Hello. So from the last video I shared with you, I showed you my language skills, but I've got some feedback from a lot of people that they told me that I didn't share any advice about how to learn a language. So today what I'm gonna share with you is my own experience about how to learn a language, and I will share with you three pieces of advice. So the first thing, before to share the advice, I just want to give you a very honest feedback. A lot of people, they will tell you that you can learn a language in 1 month, 2 months and 3 months. So I have a lot of people in YouTube saying that you can learn a language in 6 weeks or 7 days. I think this is all bullshit. Okay, I think it's impossible. You need a lot of time when you speak, you want to learn a language. So don't believe all this hype about how to learn a language. Those are just clickbait. There is no method in the world that can help you learn a language in a few weeks or a few months. This I don't believe. Every time I learn a language, I need to spend 1, 2, 3, 4 years at least to be able to communicate with a correct level. So my number one advice is to be interested in the language. You need to be interested in the language. Sounds stupid and basic, but this is very important. I think it's the most important advice. Why? Let me give you some examples. I've been living in China for many years, and I have many colleagues in China that have been living here for 20 years. They are married with a Chinese wife, but they cannot speak Chinese. They have kids that are half Chinese, but they cannot speak Chinese. Simply because they are not interested in the language. It's not they don't have the language skills. Their English is very good, but they don't speak Chinese. And the simple reason is they are not interested in learning it. It's not they don't want, but they are not interested. There is a difference between wanting to learn a language and being interested in learning a language. Everybody wants to speak 10 languages, of course, but are you interested enough to learn it? So this is where you need to dig deeper, find the interest about learning the language. Let's say, for example, Japanese. I'm learning Japanese. The interest I have is because I love the culture, the anime, the manga, the movies, the music. So I fell in love with the country, so I wanted to learn the language, and I spent a lot of energy learning this language. It's not because I have the talent. I don't have any talent about the language. In fact, when I was young, my language skills were very bad. My English teacher was telling me that I was the worst student in the classroom, just to tell you. At that time, I was not interested in English. I said, why I should learn English? I'm French, I'm living in France, I don't use this language. And it's because I wanted to go to study in the US, and I really had a lot of influence from America, and I wanted to study English. That's what the reason for me why I started to learn English, and I spent a lot of time to learn this language. Same for Chinese. I was not expecting to learn Chinese at the beginning, but I find an interest in this language, and I dig deeper, and I studied, and I spend a lot of time, and then I speak Chinese. So the interest for me is more important than living in the country. The second advice, if you want to start a language, I think one very good way is to learn how to introduce yourself. Because it's something that you're going to use. It's something personal. Everybody wants to know how to introduce themselves and how to ask questions that are related to yourself, because you're the most important person in the world. If something relates to you, you will learn it. So you start with the basic introduction, like my name is, your age, your work, where you live, and then you go deeper and deeper and deeper about the introduction. You can speak about your hobbies, the books you read, the movies you like, why you started to learn the language, what attracted you to the country. And ask yourself some questions and find the answers, and try to use the language to speak those words, and vocabulary will start to enter quite efficiently. I think this is the most efficient way to start to learn a language. If you start to learn a language with some vocabulary list and a lot of things that you will never use in your life, it's just a waste of time. So I think you need to start with what will help you in your life, and I think the introduction is one way to build up vocabulary and grammar and a lot of things. So how to introduce yourself in the language, I think, is one very good way to start to learn a language. And the third advice, of course, is to immerse yourself in the language. So how to immerse yourself? The best way, of course, is to go to live in the country. If you can, go spend 1 year, 2 years in the country. But it doesn't mean that this is the only way. It's not the only way. You can immerse yourself in different ways. You can immerse yourself by listening to the language that you want to learn every day, by watching movies, listening to the music of the country that you want to learn the language, reading the books, magazines, kids' books, and mix all this methodology. There is not only one method. You have to use a lot of methodology. And immerse yourself every day. Even if you don't understand at the beginning, just watch the TV, put it on, then you will start to catch some words, catch the rhythm of the language, the vocabulary, the intonation, all those things. So, but when I arrived in China, I didn't speak Chinese, so I just put the TV on. The guy was talking, I didn't understand nothing. But step by step, you start to catch some words, catch the intonation, the way he talks. Watching the news, watching some movies, watching some series, watching some anime, some kid stuff. Just put it on. You will think at the beginning it's useless, but trust me, it's something that is going to help you. If there is some movie that you really like in the language, watch it many times. Watch it like 10 times, 20 times, who cares? You can stop, you can rewind, put it back, and keep repeating the thing. So immersing yourself is very important. If you can't go to the country where you want to study, that you want to study the language, use this way. You can immerse yourself inside your home and use this language from different sources: TV, radio, podcast, YouTube, and immerse yourself. So for me, those are the three main advice that you can use if you want to learn the language. Right. So if you have some comments, if you want to ask other questions about how to learn language, some other tips, if you want to share some of your own experience, please leave some feedback on the comments below. Thank you very much. Bye bye.